What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Scalar Learning Weekly live stream. As you may or may not be able to tell, I'm a little under the weather right now, but that's okay. We're not going to let that stop the weekly live streams. We're going to keep going with our SAT videos. And as we've been doing now for some time, sorry, that's just making sure my audio is working and it's working. We are continuing with the problems that I've already gone through, but now we're doing level 2. So today we're looking at graphing linear equations level 2. So let's jump right into it. Here we go. Let's just make sure we are in that right. I'm doing the right one here. 1 second. So we did last week. We did graphing linear. I'm just double checking here. Thought that's right, but oops. Here we go. In my videos, the last ones we did linear inequality word problems, right? And that was, let me go back here, linear inequality. Yeah, here we go. Okay, just making sure. All right, so graphing linear equations. So let's do it. So it says, which of the following represents the graph of 3y minus 7 equals 0? So the easiest thing to do in these situations where you're trying to identify graph is immediately put this into slope-intercept form, which in the simplest sense of the operation is to isolate y. So first I'm going to write it out like this. We're going to add 7 to both sides, right? Inverse operations. And now we got 3y equals 7. Let's divide by 3, divide by 3. And got y equals 7/3. So what kind of a line is this? Well, there's no x in this, so that means this should be a horizontal line where it should cross the x-intercept. Or sorry, excuse me, the y-axis. It should cross the y-axis at 7/3. So that's what we should be looking for. This is no good because it's slanted, so we need a horizontal line. There's a horizontal line. This one's vertical. Vertical's not good. Sometimes you may get confused because it's y equals, so you may think, oh yeah, it should be like the axis, the y-axis, but that's not the case. It's actually this guy, C, and you can see it's right above 2, which 7/3 is 2 1/3, so that makes a lot of sense. All right, and we are good. Let's go to the next one. So it says the equations x plus y equals 3 and negative 5x minus 5y equals negative 15 are graphed. Which of the following must be true of the graphs of the two equations? So again, strategy is always to isolate y in both equations. So we've got x plus y equals 3. I'm going to subtract x from both sides. We've got y equals negative x plus 3. Now let's do the same here. We've got negative 5x minus 5y equals negative 15. I'm going to add 5x to both sides. We've got negative 5y equals 5x minus 15. Divide by negative 5. Divide both of these guys by negative 5. We get y equals negative x plus 3. Now, why did I do that? Well, look how interesting this is. When you simplify both of these or put both of these in slope-intercept form, they're the same. It's the same equation, which means they're actually the same line. And now we don't have to guess. We don't have to plug in coordinates. We don't have to do anything. So you just do that as a matter of course, and you're going to see some interesting things. We know it's the same line, and which is option D. The y-intercepts of the graph, blah, 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 is negative 15. We don't need to even look at any of this and figure that out. Now we're good. We could have also figured out if they were perpendicular just from the isolation process, if they indeed were, but they're not. So they're the same line, and that's correct. Let's go to the next one. Again, it's asking which of the following represents this line. Now you could probably figure it out maybe by plugging in some values, but to be honest, if we isolate, it's so much easier because that's how we're taught to look at graphs. Negative 1/3 y equals x. So I'm going to multiply by the reciprocal of this, which is negative 3, or negative 3 over 1. And these guys cancel out. We got y equals negative 3x. So I can tell you that we've got a y-intercept of 0. We got a negative slope. It's going to go like this, and it's going to go through the origin, right? So it should look something like this. And we can take a look. Negative 1/3. Actually, yeah, this is close. This is a slope of negative 1/3. It should be steeper than this, but that is the right guide. This looks like maybe the right slope, but it's not It doesn't have a y-intercept of 0. We can tell it has a y-intercept of 0 because there's no y-intercept value, which means it is 0. And this guy looks good, right? We got a slope of -3. It goes through the origin. That's what we want. 2 questions left. It says k is a rational constant not equal to 1. Which of the following graphs could represent this guy? Again, I'm doing the same thing. This looks like a very complicated question, but if we apply that same principle, it's not going to be so bad. I'm going to distribute that k, and I'm going to make it kx plus ky plus 5. We can right away get rid of these 5s, right? Subtract 5 from both sides. Both of these go away. Now we got y equals kx plus ky. I'm going to subtract ky, subtract ky. We got y minus ky equals kx. I'm going to isolate my y. I'm going to get 1 minus k equals kx, right? Do you see how what I did here is if you redistribute the y, you'll see you get y minus ky. So all I've done is I factored a y out. And now we can divide both sides by 1 minus k. Divide both sides by 1 minus k. So what can I tell you about this line now? I can say it's y equals, let's do k over 1 minus k. It's like this whole, I'm just reformatting it like this. It's the exact same thing as up here. Why am I doing that? Because this is our slope. This is our slope value. And essentially, this is just going to be a line that has no y-intercept because there's nothing over here. And we don't even know if this is necessarily a positive or negative slope or what. It's just some sort of a slope. We can think about some different examples. It says not equal to 1 only because this would give us a denominator of 0. But it could be 2, and if it were 2, it would be a slope of, let's see, -2. It could be 3, it'd be a slope of -3 over 2. Anyways, but it could be some fraction. It could be any value. The main thing is it's some slope and it's going through the origin. So this could actually work. This one wouldn't work. This one definitely wouldn't work. This one definitely wouldn't work. The only one that can work is this guy because it's an equation where it goes through the origin. It is a linear equation, even though it may seem like a bit more complex. It's just a linear equation, and that's our answer. Okay, finally, we do this guy. What is the equation of the line graphed in the xy plane that passes through the point -4? Was the equation of the line that passes through -4, 5, and is parallel to this guy. Okay. Once again, we follow the same rule. We're going to get it into slope-intercept form. So once we do that, everything gets much easier. I'm going to subtract 3x, subtract 3x. We get -4y equals, I'm going to put the 3x first. Then I'm going to divide by -4. Now, we don't care about anything except for the slope, but I'll give you the full equation of the line. 3/4 x plus 2. All we care about is this. So it says is parallel to this line. So we're talking about a line that starts like this, but we need to figure out what the y-intercept is. And we can already eliminate D and A, right? Because D and A, those aren't the same slope. Those are actually the slope of D and A are perpendicular lines. We're talking about parallel lines. So it's already, we eliminated it down to B or C. But now the way we can do this is we can just plug in these values here and here, and we can solve for the y-intercept. So we got -5 equals 3/4 times -4 plus B. -4 times 3/4 is actually -3. I'm going to add 3, add 3. We got -2 equals B. So plugging that back in up here, 3/4 x minus 2. And there is the equation of our line. So it is B. And we are done. So that is it for the Khan Academy weekly live stream. I hope that was helpful. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comment section below. If there's anything in particular you want to see, let me know. And make sure to subscribe to the channel if you want to see these live streams, if you want to get the latest and greatest information from scalar learning on the reg. We also have a new music video coming out soon on systems of linear equations, so make sure to keep your eyes peeled for that. We got all sorts of cool stuff. Just hit 1,000 subscribers, making a special video just for that, to commemorate that occasion, because that's really special and really important to me, and I'm very grateful. Thank you guys so much for joining. Hope it wasn't too bad. I got a strange, raspy voice today because I'm a bit under the weather, but really want to get this out. So that is it. See you guys next week. Take it easy.